Good morning, one and all. I am Mrs. Swati Suchak, Assistant Professor of Department of BCA. Welcome you all for the national level webinar on exploring new dimensions of higher education post COVID-19. I take this opportunity to welcome resource person for today's webinar, Dr. Nitin Malekar, Sir, Madam Principal, Dr. Asha Menon, conveners of webinar, Dr. Nimisha Kamli, Coordinator of BAMM Department, and Mrs. Suchita Power, Coordinator of BCA Department. I also welcome our alumni of BCA Department, Ms. Zareen Sheikh, the founder of DG Market Arrays, which is digital marketing company, as a special invitee, and her team, and all the faculty members of BAMM and BCA department, and last but not the least, all our dear students who are participants for this webinar. As rightly said by Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So post COVID-19, the education industry will be dynamic with different learning platforms and innovative strategies. To understand and explore various aspects of digital learning in higher education, Shri H.P. Doshi and Shri P.L. Doshi, Department of Computer Applications, and Srimati Devilaben Mehta, Department of BA in Mass Media of Srimati P.N. Doshi Women's College, are organizing this webinar, and this will be beneficial for all the junior and senior college students as it will unfold emerging areas in higher education post COVID-19. Now let us begin with glimpses of our college and about departments, that is BCA and BAMM, which are the leading and most popular courses among the students who have taken the initiative to organize this thoughtful webinar for our enthusiastic participants. I would like to request Ms. Zareen Sheikh to present the video. Until video starts, I would like to make an announcement that feedback link will be given in the WhatsApp groups and Telegram group after the session. So all the participants need to fill the feedback to get the e-certificate, and only one time you can fill the feedback. So kindly fill it properly. Whatever you will fill it, that will be exactly printed on the certificate. Thank you. Over to you, Zareen. Thank you, Ms. Sabiha Khan, Assistant Professor of Department BAMM, and Ms. Shraddha Karande, Assistant Professor of Department of DCA, for making this wonderful video. A wonderful quote by Jessica Boone says, being a good leader isn't about having a power over others, but about instilling powers in others, which perfectly suits our supportive and dynamic Madam Principal, Dr. Asha Menon. Now I would like to request Madam to share her views. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Swati. Good morning and welcome to the national webinar on exploring new dimensions of higher education post-COVID-19. This webinar is for junior college and senior college students, and I'm happy that the BAMM department and the DCA department together planned this for all the students. Especially appreciate the efforts taken by Dr. Nimisha Kamli and Mrs. Suchita Bhoer, coordinators of the departments, and her team for the efforts taken. I would like to welcome the eminent speaker for today, Dr. Nitin Malekar, Director, Gargi Genetics Private Limited, who accepted our invitation to be here with us and speak on a very relevant topic. Thank you so much for being here with us. Welcome, sir, once again. I would like to welcome all the dear participants for this webinar. You all have made this webinar a great success by your participation. But before I hand over the proceedings to Ms. Swati Suchak, I would like to mention a few accomplishments of my college. S.P.N. Doshi Women's College has been recognized as one of the top performing institutes in the country by NAC in 2017. The focus of our institution is on career enhancements along with overall skill development with the seamless mix of academics and extracurricular activities. The vision of our institution is to educate, enlighten, and empower girls. We insist to motivate the weak, address the average, and challenge the gifted. Well qualified and dedicated teachers, excellent teaching and learning process, student support like mini lunch, clothes bank, and book bank, good governance, leadership and management, and best practices like IQAC and academic and administrative audit have helped us achieve what we have today. All these have culminated not only in getting high grades in NAC, but also in fulfilling our vision to be recognized as a center of excellence for education that empowers women, leading to self-actualization. I'm very proud to say we leave no student behind. We support underprivileged students to complete their higher education. The motto of the college is to assist the students complete higher education by providing them physical, psychological, and financial support. Majority of our students are from socio-economically challenged segments of the society. Because of this background, our students face a number of hurdles while completing their education and achieving their goals. Scholarship to needy students of our college for reimbursing their admission and examination fees under Shama Koticha Scholarship Fund and Shama Students Assistance Fund and LBW funds are all a few things that we do for our students. We also have a microfinance program known as Shama Well Loan Program, where students receive interest-free loans for pursuing higher education or professional courses in our institute or outside. All these courses have good job opportunities and students easily can repay their loans taken. We also have scholarship programs which provide financial aid to needy students to complete their graduation or master's program. The interest from the corpus of each scholarship fund is used to pay the part of the fees of needy students. Every day, there are 200 students who are given mini lunch in our college. If you want to know more about our college, please visit our website www.spndoshiwomenscollege.com. I once again welcome each one of you to this national webinar. Over to Ms. Swati Suchak. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Your words are always an inspiration for all of us. Now I would like to request the coordinator of BCA department, Mrs. Suchita Bover, to give a concept note about the webinar. Over to Mrs. Suchita Bover.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Swati. A warm welcome to everyone who have chosen to be with us. It is indeed special to us that all of you have joined to us on the national webinar on exploring new dimensions in higher education post-COVID-19. I, Mrs. Suchita Bhovar, coordinator of BCA department of SPN Doshi Women's College, will hereby take a minute to brief you about today's program. The COVID-19 pandemic is set to change the world sooner than we know. The way our governments, institutions, organizations, and people think and function will radically change, perhaps for the long time. Among many economic sectors, the higher education sector is undergoing a tectonic shift. What several futurists and education technologists have been forecasting for long is now happening. At least for 2 decades now, edutech enthusiasts have been predicting that technology will become the biggest intermediary of teaching learning processes. In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, millions of students across the globe have been driven out of their university spaces and professors are confined to their homes. Higher education stands disaggregated and faculty and students are grappling with the sudden new norm of completely tech-mediated teaching and learning. About 60 million students across the globe are limited to home during the crucial months of March to June, and many more, which generally see a flurry of curricular and assessment activities. Institutions and students alike are under pressure to not lose academic time and reinvent their teaching learning in the only possible way: go completely online. What does this mean for the institutions and academic leaders, administrators, and students in the long run is getting clearer. The new total technology mediated education can be termed as education 4.0 today. After the first 3 waves of education systems that evolved over 2000 years of civilization. The Gurukula system, one master to a few pupils. The traditional university system, one to many learners. And distance learning, one to very many learners across the spectrum. The good news is the mainstream institutions are willing to move online, and there is a possibility of habits changing to enable education 4.0. The current crisis could lead to different scenarios for these 3 reasons. One, human health is at risk. Many of the conventional sectors, industries may experience significant change in consumer behavior, with changes in the nature and quantity of demands. Two, students may be reluctant to return to traditional models of education after experiencing alternative education models at lower cost. And third, changes in job markets may lead people to use their transferable skills to enter a different industry. For example, the aviation and hospitality executives may apply for jobs in sectors that utilize similar knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Based on these possibilities, we could see changes in both the curriculum and delivery models in the higher education. In order to weather the current crisis, higher education institutions have started acting quickly, think innovatively, and work collaboratively to mitigate the impact of this challenge. This requires a commitment to change and a shift in the mindset of how we plan and deliver education to use novel solutions for greater impact. Higher education institutions have used this an opportunity for academic impact through collaboration as one world, one family in this time of adversity. Department of Computer Applications and Department of Mass Media of SPN Doshi Women's College jointly decided to invite an expert to shed some light on new dimension in higher education post-COVID-19. Without taking any more time, I would like to hand over to Swati. Over to you, Swati.
Thank you, Mrs. Suchita Bova, for giving the detailed concept note about the webinar. Now, I would like to request the coordinator of DAMM department, Dr. Nimisha Kamble, to introduce our resource person, Dr. Nitin Malekar, sir, who is a renowned speaker, and let us hear more about the Nitin, sir. Over to Dr. Nimisha Kamble.
Thank you, Swati. It is my privilege to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Nitin Malekar, since I've been knowing Sir for quite long time. Sir is the director of Gargi Genetics Private Limited, and he has quite inspiring career graph with his experience in different areas such as advertising and public relations, marketing and management, corporate communication, healthcare publications, business management, leadership, concept communication, reputation management, crisis management, team development, clinical research, sales and marketing, growth strategies, etc. Sir has strongly built synergies with different trade analysts and industry bodies and holds a distinguished network of journalists and media agencies across the globe. So his client list includes IIM Kolkata, IIM Ahmedabad, Wellinger Institute, well-known hospitals such as
A warm welcome to everyone who have chosen to be with us.
his client list includes IIM Kolkata, IIM Ahmedabad, Wellinger Institute, well-known hospitals such as Hinduja, Global Hospital, Fortis, Crema, and many more popular organizations. After acquiring PhD on quite interesting topic, genetics and human behavior, leadership traits from International University of Contemporary Studies, California, Dr. Nitin Malekar has worked for more than 2.5 decades as a management and communication expert in healthcare and education field with national and multinational giants such as Reliance, Adfactors, American Organization, POC. He was a leader of corporate communications at Sir H.N. Reliance Foundation Hospital and Research Center. While handling marketing, advertising, and public relations department as a senior group head of public relations at Adfactors, Sir initialized and managed international tie-ups, successfully handled creative, sales, and marketing teams, played an active role in management of Perfect Health Mela Asia. It was Asia's biggest healthcare event, handling a very responsible position as a president, marketing and communications at American Organization POC Medical Systems for their Indian franchisee. Dr. Nitin's heart lies in core areas which impact human needs and sufferings. He is currently working on cancer research technology with a dream of finding a solution for early detection and also pursuing his dream project, Pink Revolution, a socio-economic model for enhancing the genetic breed, offering livelihood to marginalized farmers and building a world-class Indian brand. By wishing him huge success in his gentle task of Pink Revolution, I request Dr. Nitin Malekar to begin with the session. But before that, I would like to remind participants once again that if they have any queries or any questions, they can put in Telegram or WhatsApp group. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, friends. Thank you very much, Dr. Kamble, for a very, very beautiful introduction. I don't know whether I have achieved yet much in life, but yes, I am on the route to achieve what is very unique for all of us. I am working on cancer research and trying to find a solution to this terrible issue, which is called cancer. Anyway, back to our subject. Good morning, friends. By calling you, all you students, my friend, I am trying to bridge the gap between our ages. I am almost 52 now. I have taken this opportunity. I would like to specially take this opportunity to thank your beloved institute Srimati P.N. Doshi Women's College, which is a renowned institution from SNDT University, and its education head, Principal Dr. Asha Menon, and the team. Can we go to the slides, please? The second slide, please. Yeah. As we heard in the introduction, the whole world, including India, is passing through unprecedented difficult times due to this outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. There is no doubt that this pandemic, this COVID-19 issue, has transformed everything we have known across the world. Our life, our world, our planet, our earth, everything is changing. Some for good and some for bad. Schools, colleges, and other education institutions that get ready to stay in step with these unparalleled times by embracing online digital education. The learning can count only and only on staying relevant now and in the immediate future. Remote learning, distance learning, home learning, online learning, e-learning, and webinars are the buzzwords of today. So try to imbibe them as much as possible. Can we go to the next slide, please? I will be surprised if you know that more than 4,000 startups in the edutech space, that is education technology space, are striving today to make a difference. India is uniquely placed to lead the way in how students across the region and geographies will learn. Online learning tools and platforms with their unique ability to offer students a learning experience which are customized by budgets. Of course, it should be affordable, learning capability or capacity, and interest. These are promises to address the interconnected challenge of access to education and the quality of education. Students, we cannot say that every student will have an access to internet or even the mobile. So students who do not have access to the internet, actually we in Bombay and most of the cities are luckier. In most of the remote areas, and believe me, 70% of India still stays in rural parts of this country. They may or may not have access to internet, and they may not have the computers as well. So tablets, smartphones are the luxuries of us who are staying in the larger cities. But in the remotest corner, even though Jio and government is trying to reach to the remotest corner, it is still a challenge. So the government of India has thought about it, and they are making available the quality content, that is quality education content, through a direct to home. You must have heard about DTH channels. So direct to home channels, and may also use the radio channels, which are most popular now, the radio channel services, to impart the education. Swayam Prabha is the group of DTH, that is direct to home channels, specifically dedicated to telecast education programs 24/7 using GSAT 15 satellite. You might have heard about online education as well. I mean online degree courses, which we could not think about some time back. They are also here. Government has allowed online degree courses now. Of course, there are some apprehensions about how these online degree courses will work. How will students be marked and how will the exams be conducted? But be assured, the government is working with the relevant stakeholders on this matter and will bring out the proper guidelines to manage this process. Next slide, please. The COVID-19 lockdown has given us a great opportunity. Kindly look at it positively. It has enabled teachers to become more creative. They can now create new material such as YouTube videos, PPTs, and share the links with the students and engage them during this lockdown period. Some teachers are using video conferencing tools such as Zoom, Google Meet, Cisco WebEx. These are some of the tools for online teaching. Education technology platform, as they are called as EdTech platforms now, provide millions of students living in tier 2 and rural clusters across our vast country an easy, affordable, and reliable way to learn. Kindly mark my words. The education which is provided on this platform are easy to imbibe, easy to understand, easy to absorb. It is a very affordable way of teaching, and it is a very reliable education because they are taught by the best in the industry. Online education, a result of digital world, has brought a lot of learning at all levels of education, beginning from the preschool, bachchut, to the higher level education institutes like you. Next slide, please. The move to remote learning has been enabled by several online technologies and tools such as Google Classroom, Blackboard, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, all of which plays an important role in this transformation process. With the development of ICT, information and communication technology, as we say, in education field, online video-based micro courses, ebooks, simulations, models, graphics, animation, quizzes, games, keynotes, and all are making learning more and more easier, accessible, engaging, and contextualized, relevant. The learning has to become, or has to be very, very relevant for today's times. That is being made available, possible, and accessible with the help of digital education. The current situation has given us a boost to accelerate the adoption of the technology and experiment with online learning and measure its success. No learning is complete without measuring its impact, its success. So which is what is possible with digital online education. Next slide, please. Not only for COVID-19, but our country, India, is going to witness a 50% increase in students. Mark my words. 50% increase in the student population over the next 15 years of time. And although it has so many universities and colleges, only few have the capability or the facilities to match the need, match this surge of students of this future. Online education could be the most logical solution to accommodate these young minds and to teach them the right education. Thanks to COVID-19, oh, you are surprised that I'm thanking COVID-19. Not only for COVID-19, but our country, India, is going to witness a major revolution. Our time has come now, and it is India's turn to take advantage of the post-COVID-19 situation, the opportunities which are being presented here. The pandemic should have a definitive positive impact on our education system. It should not be the same after the situation ceases or situation eases out. There should be some conclusive positive changes that we are expecting. Post-COVID-19 could be a game changer for education sector in our country. But only if we adopt the technology very effectively and make use of available opportunities. As we all know that India and Indians, all of us, are known for our capability to convert a crisis into an opportunity. We all are the fighters. They call us Jugadus. Can I request for the next slide? This is the right time to value add-ons. They say, how do I add value to myself? Is a question to ask yourself now. Through an additional program of learning or a course of your interest, and surely the best time to do a few digital diplomas and programs. Getting depressed by watching TV, news, and online channels, or even over worrying about what is going to happen will be of no use. Moving beyond these difficult times, this difficult moment is very critical. Thinking beyond this moment is the most critical point now. And knowing fact that what is this pandemic? How is it impacting our society? How is it impacting our economy and the surrounding, and possibility of how critical it is going to impact our whole country is very critical. Understanding environment, studying it, knowing the fact is critical for you. Would like to advise you a small thing. Just avoid rumors. Do not pay attention to them or spread any of these baseless false facts and contents. Most of the forwards which you receive on WhatsApp will be problematic. So be assured, be careful while forwarding them. Trust that each one of us has a potential to cultivate a beautiful, eventful, joyful, and productive life ahead of us. Much, much, much beyond this COVID pandemic. After which, as I trust, we and this whole world are going to be much better. And together we can achieve it. Now I am going to talk about some of the interesting programs that your institutes run. One of them is BCA. Can we go to the next slide, please? I think you have missed one slide. Next slide. The last slide was about opportunities and the things which you can do while sitting at home. But I think you are better equipped than me to tell you about the same. Let me tell you about BCA program. BCA may not be the final solution. Nobody is saying that to you. But it is surely one of the best ladders to take you to the top of your career. It can help you achieve and realize your goal with a more realistic and practical approach. BCA degree course, especially at SNDT, your college, your own institute, leads to a plethora of employment opportunities in sectors like banking, website development, computer networking, and other interesting job profiles like software developer, UI, UX developer, system analyst, network engineers, and alike. The average starting salary, if you ask me, can be around from approximately 3 lakhs to 8 lakhs per annum in the top IT companies like Amazon, Google, Accenture. Most of these are multinationals. Wipro, TCS, Cognizant, Capgemini, Sapient, I can give you so many names who are interested in BCA programs. After BCA, many students prefer to go to MCA, that is Master's Program, to increase their skills and capability and for the positive career growth and the salary hike. I especially support this view. As I was studying the curriculum of your institution for BCA, I love to see that BCA comprises or focuses on 4 areas. First, the soft skill and the personality development. I believe that it is one of the most critical area in today's time. Second is basic mathematics and logic building. Third is the core computer technology. And fourth, again, very important, is application of knowledge, the project work. Let me tell you one thing. Many IT companies are selecting BCA graduates even over BE graduates because you, especially BCA graduates, are capable of doing most of the jobs that BE graduates have been doing so far. You've been taught so well. If you are looking for a decent job in software industry, immediately after the BCA degree, you require to develop some of the extra bit programming skills as well, which can lead you to jobs in software developer, as a software developer or a software test engineer, etc. Those additional skill sets will be lot full in the job market. You can also find jobs in technical support, that is technical support engineer, technical writer, web designer, software sales engineer, and many more. A few core areas on the computer network, coupled with network certifications like Cisco certified CCNA, Microsoft certified MCSE, etc., can provide high-paid, challenging jobs and research options in networking domain as network engineers, server administrators at various levels. And do not forget the importance of specialized courses like robotics, web designing, mobile applications, and other interesting domains which are outside your regular coursework. I just cannot forget about the great career opportunities in defense service, our Indian defense service. A graduate from BCA is if they are eligible to join armed forces like Army, Navy, Air Force by applying for combined defense services. It is a serious entrance examination. And if you have the essential guts to set up your own business, believe me, it needs a lot of guts to set up your own business. BCA degree will give you that required technological edge, which an entrepreneur should definitely have. Plus, BCA can be the foundation of pursuing MBA with a technological background. Let's see a small video now, which emphasizes my thoughts. Can I request for the video? Coming back, can we go to slide 9 now, please? Slide 9. Yes. Now let's talk about BAMM now. This is the second course, which is one of the most interesting and very close to my heart. I specialize in communications and I have been working with advertising and public relations companies for a number of years. The media and entertainment industry in India is practically competing with the global industry. Professional management expertise is becoming a necessity in all media and entertainment organizations. The industry demands media managers who are equipped with current technology, acquainted with the elements of business administration, and have necessary domain expertise of the media industry. The BAMM program, they call it BAMM program, of Srimati T.N. Doshi Women's College, is designed to offer both the theoretical and a practical learning. This is an intensive program during which the students are taught the nuances and the technicalities of the industry, which are the most critical and relevant for the industry, and also offered a chance to interact and learn from the industry experts in the internship period. The career opportunities which are most prominent for the media and entertainment management program are event and entertainment companies, in TV and radio channels, celebrity and sports management companies, film production and distribution companies, advertising and PR companies, that is definitive, social media business, video editing house studios, there are huge studios now, and newspaper houses. So there is huge opportunity. There are a huge number of organizations who are looking towards you for the right kind of person. They want the right kind of skill set. But let me make you aware, the media and entertainment industry is much more than just the glitz, the shosha, the glamour. It demands a highly specialized workforce of skilled, attentive, and professional people. Industry job also demand creative and innovative talent. You have to become more and more innovative, thinking, and in turn, they offer an exciting work environment. Working there is fantastic. Kindly watch a small video again, which is on BAML. Hello, can we go to the next slide? Yeah. Now I'm going to actually, we saw a beautiful video in the beginning of the presentation, but who could not join in the beginning, I'm just covering some of the important details, important aspects of Srimati P.M. Doshi Women's College here. I would like to take you through few slides. Next slide, please. Can I request for the next slide? Yeah, the college has been ranked as one of the most high-performing institutes in the country, as they have achieved A grade in the 3 consecutive cycles by National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAAC, which is very, very interesting fact. And we all should be proud to be associated with such college. Next slide. The vision of the college is to be recognized as a center of excellence for education and empower women leading to self-actualization. All of you might be knowing this is more than 100-year-old institution, the SNDT as a whole, and is recognized as one of the largest women university in the world. Next slide, please. The facilities offered by the college, especially I was highly surprised and visibly, I'm very happy to know that your institute provides 0% interest loan for the needy students. So you are saying that every person should get, every girl should get educated, and you're helping them to get it. Next slide, please. The professional courses are BA, BCA, and BMS. We discussed some of them in the beginning of the presentation. Next slide. The journalism, advertising, animation, which comes under mass media, BA courses. Next slide. And these are the linkages, that is the partners. We call them a partner. These are the channels who are working along with us, who are engaging our students, who are helping our students. They are offering jobs to our students. Next slide. The job opportunities, we have discussed it at length. Next slide. Again, linkages from some of the biggest companies in this space. You know most of them. You know Infosys, Tata, Wipro. All of the major companies are associated with us through our network of students. Next slide. As a last slide, I would like to present a small, what should I say, a poem by Emerson. Not gold, but only men can make a people great and strong. Men who for truth and honor's sake stand fast and suffer long. Brave men who work while others sleep, who dare while others fly. They are the ones who lift a country like ours. to the great heights, to the sky. I would like to invite you all to watch this beautiful film which we are presenting now and conclude the session. Can I request for the film again, the last film?
What if everyone in the world who was close to the things, who saw their life change from a big hurricane, could look you in the eyes and tell you their name? Would you be able to explain you really had to catch that plane instead of hopping on a train and say that that was not inane? Tell those who lived their lives in vain, shackled by production chains, that all of this was preordained, but we all played a losing game. We keep calm and carry on. The mad professor rattles on, but science lacks the lexicon to speak to our emotions, the only thing we act upon. Maybe we're uncomfortable because of too much information. And so long as aviation is our preferred mode of transportation, we will be writing a new interpretation of Icarus. See, Icarus flew too close to the sun and he died. We're flying close to it a few too many times, and the temperature is already melting the wax. We've seen it in data and figures and facts and pictures and graphs. We can make other plans, but there's no planet B. But what if we took the plastic up out of the sea and imagined the way we would like it to be? What if we employed each climate refugee and paid them to make things sustainably? Because if we can invent things that cause this pollution, we must be smart enough to create a solution. I think if we share, we can clear up the air. We just need to dare to make the world fair so that farmers can farm without doing harm, and we can treat them and the planet with care. So people can make a sustainable income without all these terrible carbon emissions. If we can make videos like this one instantly viewable, then we can make energy sources renewable so that we can be proud and the world can be beautiful. Because every time that we're faced with a test, we shouldn't be scared, we shouldn't be stressed. If we stick together and stick out our chest, I think we can do it. Let's give it our best. We might feel unprepared and we might not know how, but the right time to do right is always right now.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience hearing. Back to you.
That was really good, sir. Sir, actually, we have some more time left. So can you just brief us more about now what changes may take place in higher education? Now there are different segments of higher education, like administration is one part. In office administration is done, or at university level. Then there are some examinations, like we conducted online Viva some days ago. Even our SNDT, MA Mass Media, they also conducted online Viva. So that way a lot of systems may change. Teachers have to go online now. Everywhere we see, like from KG to PG, everywhere online classes have also started. So how far it will be successful in India? Because in most of the places, we find internet connectivity or the socio-economic status of people are trying to cope up with it, but how are it going to shift or change? Because we all are new to the system and we are trying to adapt the system. So can you just throw more light on higher education and this pandemic situation and online teaching and learning?
Actually, as I covered in my presentation, you rightly mentioned that most of the country, actually 70% of India stays in rural parts. And even though that the government as well as some of these major companies like Jio has made the internet possible in the remotest corner of India, still, as we know, that most of the students may not have the access to internet as well as the mobile phones. So you will be surprised to know that the students' father are being contacted by the institution to run the courses. So very interesting. Like you mentioned, actually, I was glad to know that your institution, that is the college itself, has taken so much of initiative to introduce online learning. And the time which is being, the COVID has taken a lot of time from our life. And how can we maximize these hours which are available for our students to make the best of it is a question. You mentioned about what will be the changes are we expecting. We believe, I sincerely believe that the regular teaching or regular one-on-one or in the class teaching is not possible for next 6 months. So most of the colleges, most of the schools are going online. So you or every education institute has to imbibe the online learning capabilities. The most critical will be not only using the right tools which are available in the market, but also develop a different innovative strategies and skills like development of PPTs, interesting PPTs, development of programs. There are online programs which can be very useful to make people, that is the students, understand the concept and participate in the program as well. And when we talk about wherever there is an unavailability of internet or mobile or telephony, at that in those aspects, in those difficult terrains, difficult areas, the government has introduced, as I told you, for teaching the students, government is introducing a direct to home channels. And they are also engaging a lot of radio channels to impart right education to the students. That is how they are actually reaching the students and keeping them in the mainstream. Actually, I am open to any questions if the students have any questions now. Can we take some questions from students here?
Yes, sir, there are questions. Actually, the time slot was from 11 to 12, no? So
Yeah.
still students are posting questions.
So if you can
Okay,
take some of the questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Okay, we will continue with the question. And after listening to you, sir, one quote by Tony Robbins is the best suited, which says, to communicate, we must realize that we are all different in a way we perceive the world and use this understanding as a guide to our communication with others. Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful session. Now I would like to request Mrs. Sneha Singh, Assistant Professor of BAMM Department, to kindly proceed with the question answer session. Over to Mrs. Sneha Singh.
Thank you, Swati ma'am. Good morning, all of you. Sir, it was very informative and enthusiastic session you had given today to the students, and we hope that they will be benefited with this session. So there are a lot of questions asked by students. I would like to present that one of the question is after pursuing graduation in one specialization, can a student pursue post-graduation in another specialization?
Definitely. Are we talking about our universities? Different universities have different rules. There are open universities now, or liberal education as they say. There you can actually take different subjects, but in our university, under SNDT University, a Bachelor of Arts, so you cannot shift from arts to science suddenly. If you do a Bachelor in Arts and you cannot do a Master's in Science, because you have to have the fundamentals of education covered, which are the basic of the education. But for specialized courses, say you can definitely go for computer education after your graduation in any other field of education.
Okay, so next question is how students will be encouraged to cope up with online learning as it has become necessity for today's scenario?
I would like to specially advise each of the students. Actually, online learning has to do a lot about self-learning. Most of the time in online learning, you are at home. So there is a tendency, आलसीपना करना, आराम करना. So you have to push yourself to learn, to understand the concept. So you have to do a lot of learning, lot of reading, otherwise. Decide what your college, what your teachers are teaching you. So the subjects which are taught in the online class has to be learned differently. They are learned separately. You have to do a lot of around reading because you will have time which is not wasted in the traveling. You will have a lot of time which is generally wasted in traveling to and fro to the college and otherwise. So here you are getting the opportunity to enhance your own skills. You have to work on yourself because it is going to help you for the future. So I will advise each of the students to work on themselves, work for yourself. Okay, when you learn a particular concept on that day, you have to go back, refer to Google, go to the right site, understand what is the concept from different aspects and understand it to the depth. I am sure that each of the teachers will be glad to answer any questions which comes to your mind. Kindly share those questions on email to your teachers and they will be glad to answer them. Next question, please.
Yes, sir. We'll move on to next question. What are the possible consequences of COVID-19 on higher education?
COVID-19 I expect it to have a better consequences. It won't be, I do not see anything worse happening to us because COVID-19 is opening up doors for all of us. We are being offered the best of the education which is available online. So there is no dearth of reaching any institutional course which was physically impossible before. Now every institution is open to teach you online. So you can reach anybody across the world. You have the power to reach the best teachers now. Best institution, which is very critical for us. Continue.
So next question, how to manage internet issues and tech issue during online classes?
Now that is an interesting question. Nobody can answer it other than Reliance maybe. So, well, I believe that most of these online teaching courses are also recorded. Like our today's talk is being recorded. This talk can be accessed later on if you miss something. So that is the only option left with us if there is a problem with the internet connectivity or a computer glitch. Next question.
Okay. So next one is, to what extent is coronavirus pandemic impacting modes of teaching and learning in higher education?
I think this is the same question which is repeated. Coronavirus is impacting us across, but look at it as an opportunity. It is an opportunity to spend time with your loved ones. How many times? I think this is one of the best opportunity where all even your parents, your siblings, that is your brothers, sisters, are with you at that time. It is the time when you can read more, you can write more, you can know more, you can add up to your knowledge. Look at it as an opportunity. Don't look at it as a negative thing. I will also request one more thing, in addition to mental health or learning, you also have to keep attention to your health. Each of us has to exercise daily for at least 40 minutes. That is what I request all of you to do. Next question, please.
Sir, what about the other sectors, like apart from BMM and BCA? What will be the impact of COVID on the other career sectors?
The implication of COVID-19 on businesses and sectors, basically the education industry, which is relevant or which is dependent on the in-class experiments, will be slightly difficult. But there are channels even today now which can help you learn or simulation exercise model. So engineering cannot be taught. Engineering cannot be done, which is the application engineering, where you need to work on the machine. It is very difficult to understand. But yes, the simulation exercise is helping them a lot. So of course, the COVID is not going to hold us locked for too long. I believe another 3 to 4 months or maybe 6 months time, which is what is expected it to exist. Till that time, let's concentrate on the concepts and the theory and the simulation exercise wherever which is needed, and concentrate on learning newer things, learning newer smaller diplomas, smaller courses will add value to you. Next question.
Okay, so one student wants to ask you that after completing her degree in advertising, like DMM degree, she wants to ask what is further. Should she go for MA, and she want a guidance what she can do further after completing the degree.
Masters is always welcome because masters offers you a chance to go deep into the subject and understand the subjects at a granular level. But some experience will be of added importance to you. You should take an internship or you should take a job in an advertising agency. And there you will actually gain from the real time world. So you may look at taking a break from your education for a year, go back to industry, learn something, work in industry for 1 year, come back and do your master's. That will add a lot of value to yourself. Next question.
Okay, sir, what is the difference between the education system in India and the other countries?
Education in India and other countries, the major difference is very, very economical in India, believe me. India is a great country for education. We are offered education in our country at a very, very nominal rate, which is not possible out of India. Internationally, higher education is very expensive. The students who want to take education internationally like US or Canada know the difference because the education is very expensive there. So take advantage of being an Indian in India, and the institutions like your college is offering education at nominal rates. Actually, this is an institution which wants every girl student to better equipped with the right kind of education. I really hats off to SNDT colleges for this specific aspect. I think every girl, you don't want any girl to remain uneducated. That is what is your target, and I love it. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. So, what is the impact of COVID on higher education in foreign countries? Because as many of our students want to go for higher education in foreign countries.
The foreign countries, the education has impacted them a lot. Every institution has been impacted because COVID is a worldwide scenario. Especially if you want to go to US, just forget about it for next 6 months. There is no chance because US is one of the largest impact of COVID in US. I will advise you to look at the education opportunities in India for this year, and you can look at furthering your education dreams internationally next year.
Okay, sir, there is one question by teachers in which all areas online courses can be conducted. I repeat, in which areas online courses
can be conducted in every area other than which are based on experiments or actual practicals. So practical courses, but even in today's world, even simulations are being conducted now. So they are like video games with the help of which you actually play around with these tools and understand the concept or the nuances of technicalities. But everything other courses, every other course can be taught online. I don't think there is any course which is non-technical or non-practical cannot be learned online. Because in one-on-one education is also possible today. There is so much of response. So even now we can allow a student to talk to a teacher and interact. That is also possible. A group of students, a group of teachers can be associated, can be connected on various platforms to understand, learn a concept better. Next.
Yes, sir. One second. So there are lots of questions.
I'm
Sorry,
glad. I'm
uh,
glad.
t- yes, sir. We will surely we will mail you the questions remaining
Okay.
of the students. And thank you, sir, for answering these questions. Maybe students will be helpful to decide their future career after 12th and for the
I'm
higher
glad.
education.
Yes.
Uh, and
I'm always
thank
very happy. I'm always very happy to associate with your institution. And I sincerely believe that your institution is doing an extremely beautiful job. And whenever I talk to your students, whenever I get an opportunity to come and visit your institution, talk to your students, all of you, I'm elated. I'm very happy. So especially I give special attention, special importance to attending courses, attending lectures with your institution.
yes, sir. When
Thank you
students
for inviting me again.
yes, students when they hear ki your session is going to be happen, so they are very yeah, we are going to attend it, and they are very happy with your session, sir.
Thank you very
I
much.
thank you for your answers to the questions of the students, and I'll hand over to again Swati ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sneha, for handling question answer session so nicely. Now, I would like to request our alumni who has helped us technically and for advertising also. Ms. Zareen Sheikh, she is the owner of the company DG Marketers. So, I would request Zareen to share her experience and her views. Over to you, Zareen.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I am Zareen Sheikh, founder of DigiMarketers, trainers at Times Pro, and visiting professor at SVMS College, Matunga. I have completed my BCA from Srimati P.N. Doshi Women's College in 2013. After the completion, during the same period, I got offer from Cognizant and Nokia. That was really a wow moment for me. Like I got offer from both the company, and that was possible just because of my teachers, Swati ma'am, Suchita ma'am, Amisha ma'am, and many others. During my college days, I was also doing teaching. And based on the teaching thing and based on my BCA degree, I got a chance to work with Art Solutions as a SCP trainer. During these particular days, I have trained more than 3,000 students across Maharashtra. So the journey is really beautiful, and my college, my degree really helped me well for what I'm now today. So it should really depend on you as a person how you take the things. Opportunity is every day you get new opportunity, and every day you get new doors to open for you. So it's totally depend on a person how they took it. Right now I'm into full-time digital marketing where I do execution and training both. So normally this company I started 3.5 years ago. Before that I used to do freelancing and all. So if you know, IT sector in India was started back in 2000s. So normally at that particular period of time, whoever who have done BCA and some basic course in IT like testing or some kind of coding, right now they are really at very good place. Whether the person is a BCom graduate, a BCS graduate, a BTech, everyone goes into IT. A person from telecom also prefer to go into IT. Similarly, the next particular module is about digital marketing. So that is one of the growing field. Normally, just because of smartphones, because of internet technology, because of geo, this particular field is really growing very tremendously, right? And apart from that, when we talk about digital marketing, that is something not more people are aware of it, because marketing is the whole and soul for every business. Whether you have a college, whether you have a chai stall, or whether you have a clothes store, whether you have an e-commerce business, everyone require digital marketing or marketing, right? So if you do the same job in sitting at one place, that is really very wow moment for everyone. So basically, when we talk about digital marketing, there are many things, right? So basically, that is one of the growing field till now. And not only BCA, BMS student plus BMM students also get placement here, because when you talk about BMM, so people say, okay, I want to become a journalist, or I want to do writing and all, or I want to go for news, I want to join a news agency. But when we talk about digital marketing, there are people who are just BMM graduate who are into creative thinking, who are into social media, who are into writing the concepts, writing the blogs, writing the stories, and so on. Right? When we talk about BMS, these people are more into creating strategies, creating money management, or creating what we say. This particular stuff that is regarding with in regards with marketing stuff, creating marketing strategies and all. And when we talk about BCA, so there are many technical fields in digital marketing from website development to SEO. So these people are actually doing great in this. So when we talk about digital marketing, everyone, it's open for each and everyone, whether it's an MBA graduate, whether it's a computer graduate, or whether it's a marketing graduate. It's totally depend on you how you take it forward. Right. So right now, when I talk about my journey, right now I have a team of 15 people, and we have worked for more than 300 plus clients across the globe. So that is something a journey that I have went through, and that was possible because of my college. I know when there was a particular competition regarding the best student award, and Suchita ma'am has actually fight for me. He based on my academics, based on what I have done, based on my extracurricular activity, this is something Zareen should go for it, right? So you are in the right hand, you're at the right place. You just need to give your full attention to your college, to your teachers who are taking a lot of effort for you. So that's what I want to tell from my side. And really, thank you so much, Suchita ma'am, Swati ma'am, Nimisha ma'am, and others, everyone, Sankatri ma'am, and all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Zareen, for your sharing your experience. I'm sure all the students will be motivated by hearing your experience. Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Neha Singh. She is the assistant professor of BAMM department. She is our alumni also. She has studied in BAMM department. So I would request her to share her experience and views. Over to you, Sneha.
Thank you, Swati ma'am. It gives me privilege to speak on this platform. Yes, I am the assistant professor in the same college which I am alumni of, and it is a great opportunity for me to work with this institution, because my college has given me a lot of things. Uh, as I want to share my experience earlier, I was very introvert. I was not able to face the people, but after when we started in the BMM degree, my teachers, my mentors helped me a lot to develop my personality. And when I passed on from the BMM, my personality was as such that I can face people, I can face the camera, I can interview the people also with a lot of confidence. Sharing about my experience, I had worked with newspapers, I had worked with news channels, I've worked with magazines, and even I've worked with movie channel. So these all opportunity in media field, and it's not about only journalism. You have advertisements and animation also in BMM courses in our college. So there are lots of career opportunities after doing BMM. For higher education also, as I have done my MA in mass media. So higher educations also, and you can go for job also. My experience was very good because I have taken experience of each and every media in the industry right now. As working with the news channel was very much different experience rather than working with the newspaper, because in news channel you have to be up to date at every extent, and you have to be very instant. Within a second you have to do the breaking news. Within a minute you have to go for the live or something like that. And newspaper works something different because you have the daytime to collect the news and put on the newspaper. It will go for printing at night, and then the next day it will come up. So we have time over there. And then I have worked with the magazine. That was a monthly magazine. So you have a monthly target, and in that you have to fill up the news, bring the interviews and all. And next, working with the movie channel was different. How a movie channel buy and purchases movie from the different industries, and how they run the movies, how the advertisements come, how the run order is being made. So It was a great experience for me to work in the media industry, and talking to college has given me a lot of confidence and strength to speak up in front of the people. As I told you earlier, I was very introvert, but after doing my BMM degree, the confidence has been generated automatically inside, and my teachers helped me a lot in building confidence, and uh, how to interview people, and everything I've got from the college. So thank you, Nimisha ma'am, Shankari ma'am, and Suchita ma'am, Swati ma'am also was a faculty in that time. So thank you all the teachers from the SNDT to help us to build our career. Over to you, Swati ma'am.
Thank you, Sneha, for sharing your experience. And I'm sure that learning in the institute and then working in the same institute is altogether a different experience. And the same experience will be shared by now Miss Sabiha Khan. She is also assistant professor of BAMM department, and she is also our alumni. So over to you, Sabiha. Miss Sabiha. I think there is some technical issue. So we I think there is some technical issue, so we will proceed. Again, I want to give a reminder to all the participants to kindly fill feedback form to get e-certificate, and link will be given in the WhatsApp groups and Telegram group after the session immediately, and it will be open only for today, so please do the needful. Now I would like to request Mrs. Nitil Kalyani, Assistant Professor of BAMM Department, to propose a formal vote of thanks. Over to Mrs. Nitil Kalyani.
Thank you, Swati ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me an immense pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks for the national level webinar organized by BA Mass Media and BCA Department of Srimati P.N. Doshi Women's College. I would like to thank our speaker, Dr. Nitin Malika, who honored this occasion with his inspirational thought. I would like to thank our management who always encourage us and enlighten us. Our source of inspiration, Dr. Asha Menon ma'am, convener of today's webinar, our beloved Nimisha ma'am, head of the BM department, and BCA head. I would like to thank all the fellow staff members, especially Shraddha ma'am and Sabia ma'am, for making the presentation with the PPT very lively. I would like to thank Sneha ma'am for handling the tedious work of joining the students and taking their feedbacks. I would like to thank the BCA alumni, Ms. Zareen, for handling the technical and the publicity help. Last but not the least, our enthusiastic participant. Because of this, the webinar is a grand success. How can I forget to thank today's ma'am for handling the session very enthusiastically. On the last note, education is most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. On this note, I announce the end of the webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, participants, also for listening to all of us.